Hey guys, so today what you're going to do is identify the theme in the poem Annabel Lee. And so yesterday we built that background information or that background knowledge about Edgar Allan Poe, the author of Annabel Lee. And so today we're going to actually read it together. So I'm going to read it to you, and then your job today in Google Classroom, you're going to see this document posted. And this document has the poem written by stanza. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stanzas. And when we read it together, oops, that's not the one. When we read it together here, you'll see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stanzas. So you're going to be breaking down the meaning of each line in each stanza as you're reading it. Okay, so let's read the first stanza together and we'll do the first one together. Okay. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So that's the first stanza. So we're going to go back here to this organizer, and we're going to see, you can see line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, right? So we're going to go here, over here to line 1, and we're going to look literally at line 1 and try to figure out what line 1 means. So it was many and many a year ago. So right here, all we have to write is a long time ago, because that's what many and many a year ago, right? It means that in fancy terms. In a kingdom by the sea. So a kingdom. I would say like a kingdom maybe in this context means like in a nice house, maybe. A nice house by the sea. That a maiden there lived whom you may know. That's our next line, line 3. So if you don't know what the word maiden means or what any words in this poem mean as you're reading it, you can go ahead and just Google the definition of the word. So I'm just going to Google define maiden. If I don't know the meaning, it's a girl or young woman, especially an unmarried one. So when I come back to that assignment here, that a maiden there lived whom you may know, so I would put a long time ago in a nice house by the sea lived a young girl who was not married. Okay. And then I'm going to go to line 4. Her name was Annabel Lee. So line 4 is by the name of Annabel Lee. So I'm just going to put her name was Annabel Lee. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the 5th line. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought. And that just means that she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So that just means, so that's our 6th line, than to love and to be loved by me. We could put something like, than to love me and for me to love her. Okay, so you have 5 stanzas left to do this with today. Okay, I did the first one for you just as a model, and now you need to do the remaining 5 stanzas together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're literally dissecting the text word for word to understand the meaning of the poem. Okay, so I could reread this and see that it means a long time ago in a nice house by the sea. Oops. Lived a young girl who was not married. Her name was Annabel Lee, and she lived with no other thought than to love me and for me to love her. So I'm literally just breaking down exactly what the text means, okay, line by line. Before you do that, you need to identify the rhyme scheme in the entire poem. So remember, we worked with rhyme scheme yesterday. So like a go and C don't rhyme. So this one would be A, right? And this one would be B. No and a go rhyme. So this one would be A, since no and a go rhyme. Lee and C rhyme. So this one would be B. Thought does not rhyme with no or Lee. So this one would be C. And then to love and to be loved by me rhymes with C and Lee, so that would be a B. Okay? So then when I come up here for my first stanza, my rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. And then I go to the next stanza. Okay? So that's what you need to do today with the first page. Then you need to come down to the second page. And I want you, after you've kind of analyzed what the poem means line by line, to identify the theme. Remember, theme is the message or lesson the author wants you to learn from the story, from the poem in this case, okay? So theme is the message or lesson the author wants you to learn from the poem. Then you need to cite 3 specific pieces of text evidence in quotations to support whatever theme you come up with. And then last thing you're going to do before you're done is I want you, using your prior knowledge from Thursday, so from yesterday, I want you to think about, why do you think that Edgar Allan Poe wrote Annabel Lee, knowing what you know about him with the background knowledge that we built yesterday? And then I want you to list events from the article that you read yesterday, or from his life that you knew just from the video and the article yesterday, that support your thinking. Like, why do you think he wrote Annabel Lee? And then what events from the article support it? I just had kids walk in. Hang on. Okay, sorry guys, I had to switch locations because iJag came into my room. Anyway, so that's what you're doing today. There we go. So you're identifying the rhyme scheme, which is prior knowledge. You're dissecting each line of the poem, okay? And when I say dissecting, I mean breaking it down into smaller pieces. So you're kind of analyzing it to figure out what each line means so that you can read it in common language, okay? Make sure you search for any vocabulary words that you don't know. And then when you're done kind of breaking it down line by line, each stanza, you need to come down here, identify the theme of the poem, cite your 3 strong pieces of text evidence that prove your theme, and then explain kind of why you think Edgar Allan Poe wrote Annabel Lee, thinking about events that you learned about yesterday, on Thursday, and how those support the conclusion about why he wrote Annabel Lee. When you are finished, you are not to mess around, you're to stay in your seats. You can get out a book to read, or you can write an entry for the right touch. Again, if anyone's names are written down at all, remember it is going to be a detention, and then during that detention, it will be your job to do some work in order to explain your behaviors and apologize for those. If your gold card is already gone, because it will be gold card and detention, you'll have to serve a couple of detentions for me. And then just a reminder that the class that has the best behavior will be rewarded somehow. So I know you guys will do great because you're all great kids, but I just wanted to remind you of those expectations. So good luck today. Have a great day and have a good weekend, and make smart decisions, okay? See you later.